Hello and welcome to stage 5, day 5 of the MyWhoosh GCC Summer Championships for 2024. My name's Emma Martin and I'm going to be taking you through all of the action today on our final stage, and we are expecting a lot of action today because the racing has been fast, it has been furious, it has been tactical, and it is going to bring a great showdown today for stage 5. So stage 1, we headed to Hudayrat. Stage 2, we were in Arabia for the individual time trials. Stage 3 was California, where a number of the climbing points were picked up. Hudayrat for the flat sprinter stage was where we were yesterday with those 9 sprints. And the sprint competition, the climbing competition, and the overall GC will all be decided today on stage 5. Well, stage 4 yesterday, our winners in each of the competition. In the men's Premier Elite, Mohamed Moutoué took the win in 58 minutes 16 seconds. Angel Hadlock in the Premier Elite women's category, 1 hour and 7 minutes. Hassan Al Remethri in the Elite men, an hour just with 58 seconds on the clock. And Myra Madera, well, she took the win in the women's elite category in 1 hour and 11 minutes. Now, those were the stage winners. Once we get each of our 4 race categories underway today, we'll talk a little bit more about the GC, the sprints, and the Queen or King of the Mountains. But the prize money our riders are racing for, the elite men and the elite women, Category 2 and 4, well, top 10 prizes overall in the individual competition. That is the GC competition. There's a teams competition running as well with first place $2,000. The sprint winner overall are 5 days in the points will pick up $1,000. Likewise will the King or the Queen of the Mountains. Now, each day there has been daily prize money for the stage winners, and you can see that the same in the Premier Elite categories for the men and women 1 and 3. So stage winners picking up $1,000 in the Premier Elite category, $250 for each segment. Now, those segments being both climbs and sprints. Well, overall prize money for GC in the Premier Elite category is $10,000 for first place, $8,000, $6,000, $4,000, $2,000, and then $1,000 from 6th through to 10th. The team classification, well, the winning team will pick up $3,000, and it's $2,000 for the sprint win and $2,000 for the King or Queen of the Mountains. Well, stage 5 is where we are at today. And alongside those 4 elite categories, we also have our 500 for 5 competitors, our amateur riders who are completing all 5 stages. And that is their goal, to complete all 5 stages. Today, well, it's a hard stage today in Arabia. This is the climbers stage, the finale of the 5 days. We are heading to Arabia. We are heading to the Jebel Hafeet. 35 kilometers of racing today, 905 meters of climbing. And you can see the course rolls out a little bit like this. There's 5 sprints along the way and 2 main climbs. Now, the aquarium climb comes at 9.5 kilometres. It's 3.5 kilometres long with an average gradient of 2.9%. It will split the groups and it will be significant in the racing. At 25.4 kilometres comes the Jebel Hafeet. It's 9.5 kilometres of climbing. It is a long, long climb today for our competitors. Remembering the men and the women racing on the same course today. 7% average gradient. It's categorised as a Cat 1 climb, which means that there are more points on offer than there are for the aquarium climb, and I think the winner of the King and Queens of the Mountains overall will be decided on the Jebel Hafeet today. Now, those 5 sprints along the way. In the sprint competition in the elite men, Kaluma, 75 points. He is clear of Demanyuan in second place. He cannot be touched in that competition. Likewise, Jenny Tan in the elite women's race field. She's 30 points ahead of Smithson. She cannot be touched either. But in the Premier Elite men and the Premier Elite women, that sprint competition overall is still open. Pino, Abello and Mutwe in the Premier Elite men. Keinberger and El Issa are the 2 female riders in that Premier Elite category open for the win today, and they will be fighting for points. Well, the 4 categories down on the start pens waiting to go in our elite racing. Our amateur riders also down in those start pens as well. And you can see the Premier Elite men will be the last category to start today. The first category to start will be our elite women. They're down on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side of your screen were the amateur women who will go at the same time. So the participants in the women's elite category, you can see the 2 teams, the Velocity Vixens and the Aussie Ballantyne. So, well, the 2 teams have been busy racing each other in these categories, and the riders riding really strongly. Currently on GC, Myra Madeira resplendent in the yellow skin suit. The polka dot skin suit currently worn by Funichikorn Sarasu. She's currently leading that competition, and currently leading the sprint competition is Jenny Tan in the green skin suit, and that cannot be removed from her shoulders today. However hard any of those riders try, there are just not enough points available. Now, alongside our elite women, this is our amateur women's category. The $500 for 5 riders, and boy, have they been working hard. Some phenomenal riders in this group of amateur women, not qualifying for the elite categories, but putting in some really strong performances day after day after day. Great to see them working towards their goals, just as all of our riders are. And the community that we are seeing on the camera shots when we go into, for example, the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, and we see and witness the sports hall full of riders taking part in the GCC Summer Championships. Absolutely fantastic, and completely what this is all about. Well, with 48 seconds left on the countdown until we get stage 5 underway, this competition has been absolutely brilliant. We said 5 stages. Today is considered the hard climb. This is the hard race today. 905 meters of climbing, 690 meters of which come on the final climb. Once they get to that polka dot banner at the top of the climb, signifying the end of the segment, there'll be 500 meters to go till the checkered flag, and that is when the 5-day stage race is over. Well, we're in with Myra Madeira down on the start line in the yellow skin suit. This is the final stage of the GCC Summer Championships. The riders are up and out of the start pen. These elite women will sweep in, and there you go. There are the elite riders coming out from the other side of the starting area, merging into one large group. Now Musa Al-Mansouri pushing on from the front here, pushing for a very, very fast start, settling down though quite quickly. Riders from the start wanting to get the momentum rolling, wanting to get the kilometers per hour up to speed quickly, and they're sitting at around 35 kilometers an hour already. Flat start today, really giving the pack the opportunity to get the bikes rolling. And rolling they are. Tanglian Madeira, Kaowei Lee, one of our amateur riders who's been putting in some outstanding rides. Tanglian is there, Murad is there, Fatima Murad, also a strong ride from one of our amateur competitors. Madeira, Smithson, Sarasu, they are all in this group. Now, there is lots still to be decided today on this final climb, final stage, not just in that overall final climb. Now, in the GC competition in this category, Madeira currently leading in that yellow skin suit. She's 2 minutes 19 seconds clear of Roname Joy Mare. She's 10 minutes 49 seconds clear of Smithson. So realistically, the expectation that Myra Madeira holds on to this skin suit is there. She's had 3 first places overall and 1 second place. When she was second to Roname Joy Mayer, who took minute and 20 seconds out of her on that stage. So Madeira there, resplendent in yellow in real life as well. Fantastic to see that cycle zone jersey, yellow to match the yellow skin suit, the concentration already on her face. This is Myra Madeira's to win. She has to hold on to this position overall on GC to win this women's elite category today. Now, she is in first place on GC. We mentioned Jenny Tan, who's currently leading the sprint competition in this category. She is in the mix here and in the group. She cannot be caught today. Smithson in 30 points behind. Sarasu, the rider, leading the climbing competition. Smithson 4 points back. Mare 7 points back. Madeira 8 points back. That competition is still up for grabs today. Now, alongside the women who are competing for those overall prize pots are our amateur women today. Rasha Kerr, she has been with us all the way through. Fabulous riding, and it's been great to see her every day participating here. Superb. I would like to think that is Rasha's son, because a family get together. If it is, great support all around by our riders, by their families, by their friends, all supporting them to complete the GCC Summer Championships this year. And great to see so many people on bikes taking part in all of our categories. So Madeira tucked in nicely, and she's tucked in behind Mare. That is the rider she needs to sit on. That is the wheel she wants to follow, and she is tucked in nice and early right on that wheel. So as Madeira does the business, they come through the first sprint of the day on this stage. So this is stage 5 of the GCC Summer Championships, the Aldar HQ sprint. And whilst Jenny Tan does not need to worry about the points, she has indeed gone through the sprint because she stretched her legs today and picked up 5 points as well. Now, Thea Kersey, she's one of the riders who's been resplendent in purple this time round, and she too has been picking up some sprints, and we've seen her put in some fantastic efforts. Great to have a glimpse into her world and her riding. Fabulous to see her here, both in real life and on MyWhoosh, taking part on stage 5 of this 5-day challenge. So Jenny Tan picking up the points there, taking her tally now to 79. She is well and truly clear in that sprint competition. That green skin suit is hers right until the end of this competition. And you can see yesterday, we had 9 sprint segments yesterday on offer, 45 points in that competition. And Jenny Tan was so consistent across all 4 of our elite categories. She was the only rider to do this. Yep, every single sprint, all 9 of them, she picked up 45 points in that competition yesterday, sealing her win overall in the sprints competition in this elite women's category. So congratulations go to Jenny Tan. Phenomenal riding, phenomenal racing, but she does have to get to the end of this stage today and finish the stage race. No pressure, Jenny. You've done the business so far. Let's get to that finish line today. Pick up the green skin suit overall. Fantastic riding. Well, Jenny Tan there is on our screen. The rider in the green skin suit. Phenomenal riding by Tan throughout the whole of these 5 days. A phenomenal sprinter, ticking off all of those sprints, picking up all of those points. Congratulations to Jenny. Phenomenal riding, phenomenal racing, great tactics. Well done. So Tan there with the group of riders in those purple jerseys. Those are our amateur riders in the category, and right up at the front of this group we've got a number of those in the mix here. Petra Aitken, Carmen Bozeman is in here, Carway Lee is in here. Nice mix of riders. Mara Madeira now pushing on at the front of the group, but the group are going to stay with her. The elite riders with her. Rona May Joy Mayer is there, Liz Smithson is in the mix, Al Mansouri is there, and you can see the overall standings on your screen. You can see what I was talking about earlier about Madeira, first, second, first, which has kept her in that yellow skin suit. Mare, third, second, first and second. She's in second place. The time gap, 2 minutes 19 between them. Now, last time we were on a climb at the end of the parkour, Mare rode stronger than Madeira, though that was on stage 3 in California. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out today and whether Madeira can stay close to Mare. She's got that 2 minute 19 second gap, and she's going to need to hold that and defend that today. Well, Zoe Neal is one of our riders as well, and great to see Zoe completing this challenge too, living her dreams, as it says on her wall. Part and parcel of the GCC Summer Championships, part and parcel of all of these stages. A great example being set in the community of women riding out on the GCC region to be eligible for this competition. A really, really strong group of women. So as Neil continues on her way through to finish stage 5, we just dropped back in with Tan. Now, Tanglian just up the road there, riding on her own. So Rona Tanglian coming back to this group, and then that's going to form a nice group. We're going to have Kersey in there. We're going to have Hafeet in there. We're going to have Tan in there. Jasper Nicole Lustria is going to be in there. Thea Kersey is going to be in there as well. So this is going to be a nice group to go through this course with. Now, the Aldcar HQ sprint came at 2 kilometres into this race. At 5 kilometres comes a second sprint, and that's a Dubai Mall sprint. And these riders now coming up to that green banner just around the right-hand bend. And we're going to take a look and see at the moment Madeira setting the fastest time through there with Mare and Al Mansouri. Jenny Tan now coming into that section. Technically no need to sprint, but, well, Jenny Tan and Thea Kersey doing what they've been doing all the way through. Look at the effort off of Kersey here. Absolutely brilliant riding. Big push. The numbers coming down. It's a smile and a grimace at the same time on her face because of the effort going in. Take a look at that. That is hard work. Brilliant riding. Great effort all round. Fabulous to see what these women are doing. Well, the elite women and the amateur women up and out on the course, and I can confirm Jenny Tan picking up maximum points again. The next group of women underway here today is category 3. These are our premier elite women's category. Kokkonen, Hadlock, De Gracia, Keinberger, El Ice, Elos and Haj. All of these women riding strongly in the competition and right the way across the competition, from overall GC to Queen of the Mountains to the sprint competition, and we will come down to a little more of that in a while. Well, down in the start pen, away they go. This is the final stage of the GCC Summer Championships. It's stage 5. These are our premier elite women. They're up and out of the start pen. It's going to be an interesting race, this one. It's very tight at the top. In fact, it's pretty tight in all of the competitions in this category. So the tactics that these riders employ today are going to be really interesting. De Gracia, Elos, Keinberger, Kokkonen, all in the mix here. Hadlock is the rider in the yellow skin suit. Keinberger is in the green skin suit, currently leading the sprint competition. You'll notice no polka dot skin suit in here today, and that's because Angel Hadlock also holds the polka dot skin suit as well as the yellow, but the yellow takes charge. Well, Geneva Elos rode herself up into 3rd place overall yesterday with a phenomenal effort, pushing Kokkonen down to 3rd. So great riding from Elos yesterday. Can she replicate that today? Well, overall in the competition in the Premier Elite Women's category, Hadlock in that yellow skin suit. She's leading from Keinberger by 19 seconds after 4 days of competition. This has been so tight. In fact, it's the smallest time gap going into the final stage in any of our race categories today. So Hadlock on GC in 1. On GC in 2, it's Kainberger 19 seconds back. Elos 5 minutes 42 back. Kekkonen 5 minutes 58 back. There's going to be a fight for third place overall as well, I think, today. De Gracia 7:22 back on GC. Well, the group all together at the moment, and you can see them. Nadine Haj just off the back, actually. Now, Haj has been riding strongly as well. Now, the segment winners from yesterday, we had 9 sprint segments, and it was a story of 2 riders in this category. So Kainberger, who is currently leading the sprint competition with 67 points, picked up 2 sprints yesterday. But Fatima El Aissa had a real plan yesterday, and you can see how well she executed it, picking up 7 of the 9 sprints, which took her into 2nd place overall in that sprint competition. Fabulous, fabulous riding. 52 points. She's 15 points behind Kainberger in the sprint competition. Now, this is where it all plays out today, because Fatima El Aissa is free to go for the sprint. She's not in the top 5 overall here, so really has nothing to lose. Kainberger, she's got to keep an eye on the overall, because she's just 19 seconds behind Hadlock on GC. So all to play for. 5 sprints today, so the sprint competition also as important as the overall. Now, Hadlock on our screens at the moment. She's been absolutely phenomenal competitor through this 5-day championship so far. This is the final day, and I am not expecting to be disappointed at all by how she races. She's got grit, she's got determination, she's got resilience, and she's a great competitor as well. Now, Kainberger is also a great competitor and has really been livening up this competition. So Angel Hadlock has had a 2nd, a 1st, a 2nd and a 1st. Kainberger has had a 1st, a 2nd, a 1st and a 2nd. So they have been so well matched. It's been amazing. Now, just a note through the first sprint today, El Aissa has indeed picked up 5 points. Kainberger picked up 4 points. It's going to be very, very close overall in that competition, but Kainberger really trying to go for it. So in the overall standings, as we mentioned, Hadlock 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, Kainberger 1st, 2nd, 1st, 2nd. But remember, the GC is about cumulative time, and currently Hadlock's cumulative time is 19 seconds quicker than Patty Kainberger's. Geneva Elos has worked her way up into 3rd place overall. She overtook Noveline Kekkonen in the standings at the end of yesterday's stage, but only by 16 seconds. So she's 5 minutes 42 back on GC, so there's 5 minutes 23 to 2nd place. That's a big ask. But Kekkonen is only 16 seconds behind her. So I think we're going to see 2 battles here. I think we're going to see Hadlock and Kainberger battling it out for 1st and 2nd. And I think we're going to see Elos and Kekkonen battling it out for 3rd and 4th. It's going to be a big stage today, 35 kilometres, 905 metres of climbing, and there's a lot to play for here, because the climbing competition in that Premier Elite category is also open as well. Hadlock 24 points, Kainberger 18 and Kekkonen 18, both of those riders just 6 seconds back. Now on the right hand side of your screen at 9.4 kilometres, this is the elite women's race, and as you can see, Madeira is up the road. She's just up the road with that group you can see with Al-Mansouri and Carway Lee. Rona May Joy Mayer is the rider we can see here on your screen in the UAE jersey and in the red jersey. She's currently lying in 2nd place overall, but we know she climbs strongly, and there's a lot of climbing on this course today. Now, at 9.5 kilometres into this race, this is the Aquarium climb, the first climb of the day. 5 points available for the quickest rider up here, not the first rider over the top, the rider who has the fastest time. So Mare pushing on here. She is currently lying third in the climbing competition, second overall as Madeira pushes on at the front with Al Mansouri, with Carway Lee. Roname Joy Med 12 seconds back, and the time coming down slowly. So category 4 really motoring onto this course now, 10 kilometres underway. This climb, the aquarium climb, is 3.5 kilometres long. It's a fairly substantial climb with a gradient of just shy of 3%. So the riders will indeed feel this underneath their pedals. Currently around 2%, the gradient does fluctuate. And you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen, that is the gradient of the climb you can see with the percentage that the rider highlighted at the moment is currently riding at. So this is the Premier Elite Women's Race, and we've got 5 riders in this leading group. Now, Kekkonen has been dropped from this group already. So Noveline Kekkonen already dropped from the group, but Geneva Elos is in here. She needs to stay here for as long as possible. We talked a little bit earlier about the competition for 3rd and 4th place between Elos and Kekkonen. 5 days is a lot of racing back to back, and you never know how your legs are going to go. And with this climb at the end today, anything could happen while Elos is about to lead the group into the sprint at the Dubai Mall. This is the second sprint of the day here for the Premier Elite Women's category as they go up and through. Well, the Dubai Mall sprint, some of the riders choosing, in fact, 2 of the riders choosing to contend that. And not surprisingly, that's Kainberger and Al Issa. Those are the 2 riders fighting it out for the sprint competition today in this category. Now, Fatima Al Issa took 5 points, Kainberger 4 points in the first sprint today. And it's the same on the second sprint. So Al Issa taking the sprint points 5, Kainberger taking 4. Well, the gap still not coming down quick enough. It's now 13 points. The gap with 3 more sprints to go in that competition, in the Premier Elite Women's competition. Now in the pen, this is the first category of men who will be underway today. These are our elite men, and they are looking as though they are ready to go. So the elite men down in the start pen with the amateur men as well. And you can see the elite men in category 2, the Wheel Warriors, the Alpha Wheel and Team Poggy. So the 3 teams there on page 1. Team Alpha, the 4th team on page 2, with a raft of individual riders, including SS, who is currently in that yellow skin suit. Now, alongside the elite riders, we've also got the amateur men as well, and a huge swathe of those coming into the final day. Well, green for go, and away go the green jerseys. This is category 2, the elite men. On day 5 of the GCC Summer Championships, they sweep out of the start pen and merge with the amateur men. It's a huge group of amateur men. Around 145 men took to the start on stage 1 in the amateur men's category. Not all of them will finish, but a significant majority of them will. Well, in the elite men's category, we mentioned SS is the rider in the yellow skin suit. He's currently leading the competition by 3 minutes 39 seconds from Erasmus. 5 minutes 22 back to 3rd. That's Hassan Al Ramethri. Al Hassani in 4, 8 minutes 18 back. In fact, there is Hazza Al Hassani, our current 4th place overall on GC. So this is stage 5. It's the final stage of the competition, the GCC Summer Championships, and the elite men. Some phenomenal performances, and there's going to be some real battles back down the GC because, as we mentioned, SS currently leading overall. Erasmus in 2, Ramethri in 3, and Al Hassani in 4. Some significant time gaps though between. From Al Hassani back to 5th place, Cadabona, just 29 seconds. Back to 6th place overall, and we start to see another gap of just 48 seconds. So 19 seconds, 48 seconds, 29 seconds. Very short time frames between the riders, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and further back down the field. So there will be a lot of races within a race today to see where these riders finish and see if anyone can move themselves up on GC today. Erasmus overtaking SS, well, it's 3 minutes 39 seconds. It's a big ask, but who knows what is going to happen today. Will SS top the Jebel Hafeet in that yellow skin suit first and hold it? Well, Hazza Al Hassani is right up the front here with SS. Al Hazabi is there as well. Al Belushi is there too. So is Pablo de Manuan, Ronald Erasmus. They are all in the mix. They are all towards the front of this pack, 2 kilometers into this race, and they're coming up to the first sprint. Well, whilst those riders go through the first sprint, we can also see our riders a little bit further back down the pack. You can see what a huge pack that is on the road, and we're in with Hesham Talat here. You can see yet again he's joined us every day, being joined through this sprint section. Fantastic cadence at the moment at 94 revs per minute, pushing on through the sprint, really motoring through the Aldar HQ sprint, the first sprint of 5 today for these men in this pack. He's on the back of this big group, this big leading group in this men's race at the moment, and it's a real mix of riders. So Kenup is in here, Erasmus, Buama is in here, Romero is in here too. These riders rotating through this group moving really well. It's a very flat start today, pretty much flat until we get to around 8 kilometers, and then we start getting into the rolling section before the aquarium climb. And you can see Abo Safe here on your screen at the moment, one of the riders in the mix here. He is riding just ahead of Kaluma. Now Joy Kaluma currently leading the sprint competition in this category, and we saw him yesterday pick up phenomenal points in that competition. So Abo Safe in the mix with those riders today. So SS at the front of this pack, and we've got a couple of riders just going off the front actually. Pablo de Manuan is here, but SS just quickly shutting that down. Now, the segment winners from yesterday, 9 sprint stages yesterday, and you can see it was a story of 2 riders in the men elite category too. Joy Kaluma was picking up points, but Ahmed Al-Obeidli also pushing on and picking up points as well, but not picking up enough points to really shake the category. So Kaluma in the green skin suit currently with 75 points at the moment. He can't be touched in this sprint competition because there are a maximum of 25 points available today through the 5 sprints. He has 26 points lead on Pablo de Manuan with 49 points in that competition. So he is indeed clear, and as long as he finishes the stage today, will indeed take the win in category 2 sprint competition. Well, Al Kahadli is one of the riders we've been watching every day this week through this 5-day stage race, putting in some great performances and giving us a really great ride as he continues to move through on that pink Carlago. Nice bike, but looking very steady in real life on his video feed, and the avatar moving really well. He's been finishing around mid-pack, which has been absolutely fantastic because the amateur men's category started with around 140 riders, so really great riding. So Joy Kaluma in that green skin suit pretty much has that competition tied up. In the climbing competition in this category, though, it is a very different story. Erasmus is currently leading that competition with 20 points. SS 19 points, 1 point back. Alramethri 16 points, 4 points back. And Cadabona 11 points, 9 points back. So 4 riders really in contention for the King of the Mountains competition, and Erasmus really needing to push on today if he wants to take the King of the Mountains prize away. Now, just a reminder, it is the fastest time up the climb, like it is the fastest time through the sprint, not first across the line that counts. So our 2 women's categories are well and truly into the course, and so now is our category 2 elite men and our amateur men as they come up for the 5 kilometre mark right at the front of the pack. SSR yellow jersey wearer right in the mixer now, moving on to stay with the group, but I don't think that's a concerted sprint from him. So Kaluma picking up the 5 points from Al Obeidili for the Aldar HQ sprint. This is the Dubai Mall sprint, and Pablo Jamanuan pushing on here, but now backing off slightly. He's right at the front of the group, right at the front of the pack, as we watch Joy Kaluma now coming in to the start of the sprint. And well, he's not happy with just picking up the sprint competition. He's going for every sprint again today, because there are also those segment prizes on offer today. So Kaluma, resplendent in the green skin suit, continuing to sprint. He's got 5 opportunities today, and he's taken opportunity number 1, and he's just taken opportunity number 2. Kaluma backing off the pace now, because between those sprints he is riding at a steadier pace than our riders at the front of the race, and that's a deliberate tactical choice by Kaluma today. So Kaluma at 5.5 kilometres. Our leading woman, Myra Madeira, is at 16.5 kilometres now into the race, and she's got over a minute on her competitor in second place, Rona May Joy Mare. So phenomenal riding from Myra Madeira at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when she gets into the Jebel Hafeet. Well, they're not out the start pens at the moment, and the Jebel Hafeet is 25.4 kilometres down the road for our Premier Elite men, our Category 1. You can see the Abu Dhabi team, the High Torque team. They are but 2 of the teams here today. We also have joining them on the start sheets the UAE team. They are currently leading the team competition. Al Rafray also there as well as a number of individual riders. Well, the men's elite, the Premier Elite Category 1 riders will be the last riders away today. The last riders away on the GCC Summer Championships. This is stage 5. This is day 5 of 5. Some of those riders are feeling fresher than others down there in that start pen. Let's see who can take the top spot today. Well, away go Category 1, the Premier Elite men. They're up and out of the start pen and out onto the final course today, the final stage in the GCC Summer Championships. Q10 is leading the race in this category. 3 hours, 32 minutes and 33 seconds of racing for him to have that first spot on GC. But Al Case has been a fearsome competitor. 20 seconds, the gap is back to second place. 2 minutes 21 back to Mutaway in third. 3 minutes and 8 seconds back to Al Hamadi in 4. And, well, it's all going to be about who can climb the Jebel Hafeet strongly today. Who's got the legs? Who feels the freshest? And what happens in that first 25 kilometres? Because Well, viewers, I am not expecting a large group of Category 1 riders, such as we see on our screen at the moment, to be together at the 25.4 kilometre mark, where the Jebel Hafeet climb starts. Well, Ivan Nuki has been working his way through the GC. He's been putting in some really strong performances, and his performances have been getting better and better. He finished 6th on stage 1, 7th on stage 2. He took the win on stage 3. He was 9th yesterday on stage 4. He's currently lying 6th on GC with some phenomenal performances, but he's lying 2nd overall in the King of the Mountains competition in this category, just 4 points back from Al Case, who is leading it. 15 points on offer today. So Ivan Nuki, I am expecting to see he is going to be one of those riders competing for that King of the Mountains competition. It's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. Now, yesterday we had those 9 sprint segments, and you can see 3 different riders picking up segment wins yesterday. Ibrahim Al-Rafray picking up the first sprint, then Abello picking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprints. Mohamed Moutoué picking up 2. It's been a really interesting sprint competition in the Premier Elite men's category. Pinot currently leading the competition with 64 points. Abello in second, 17 points back. Moutoué yesterday picking up those additional points, really helping him through. But he's now 39 points back. So really, the sprint competition today in this competition is between this man, JD Abello, and Francis Pinot. So who is going to take those points? This is the first sprint of the competition. It comes at 2 kilometres for the Premier Elite men. Who is going to pick up 5 points? Is it going to be Pinot? Is it going to be Abello? Well, take a look at the work being done by JD Abello at the moment. We've got him on our screen as we can see that group going through underneath the green banner signifying the end. Pinot is there as well. Abello is there, just waiting for the results to come through. Well, look at that. In the Premier Men's Elite category, it's Mohamed Moutoué who took the fastest time from Francis Pinot, from JD Abello, so 5, 4 and 3. Sly Fox MC, our amateur man, picking up the fastest time. Joy Kaluma, that's the category 2 rider, picking up the fastest elite man time, 13.7 seconds. Hamed Alobedel in there as well. Thea Kursip coming through for the women, really strong ride as well. So great to see. I think this sprint competition could still be wide open at the moment. So 4 points to Pinot, 3 points to Abello, 5 points to Moutoué. I think Pinot at the moment still looks very strong in category 1. Well, Abdullah Al-Harthi looking strong and continuing to motor with this group of riders in the Category 2 Elite men's race. He's got riders around him. Burnett's with him. Absin's with him. Fadhil is the rider chasing with the group behind. Edward Hawkins also in that group behind as well. But this is a nice group. Pierre de Velay is in here as well. Grunwald is too. So a good, strong group to stay with on this race at the moment. Always better to be in a pack than to be on your own. Much more motivating, but also benefiting from the draft, which does make things slightly easier. Well, they're through the first sprint. They're at 3.5 kilometres into this race. 10% of racing now complete for our Premier Elite men. We're in and down back in the sports hall with Ibrahim Al-Rafray. Been putting in some fabulous performances in this men's race. It's been really good to see day after day, putting in these strong performances, lying 8th overall on GC at the moment, finished in 10th on day 1, 8th on day 2, 8th on day 3, and 12th yesterday overall in that sprint race. But his time sitting him 8th on GC at the moment, so fantastic to see that, sitting inside the top 10 on this Premier Elite category race. Well, right in the mix in this big bunch of riders. They've come out of the start pen, and they really are a huge group of Category 1 elite men at the moment on the course. On the right-hand side of your screen, these riders started 10 minutes. This is the elite men's category, Category 2, started 10 minutes before the Premier Elite on the left-hand side of your screen, and you can see they're at 10.8 kilometres. They're now on the aquarium climb. This is the first of 2 climbs today. There's 5 points available in the King of the Mountains competition to the fastest rider up this climb today, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1 respectively. In the category that we are looking at on the right-hand side of your screen, Erasmus is currently leading that sprint competition, followed by SS, Alrometri and Cadabona. Well, Demanuan, SS, Erasmus are all in this group at the moment, surrounded by a big, strong group of the amateur male riders as well. So the group now moving up through the aquarium climb on the right-hand side of your screen. On the left-hand side of your screen, the Premier Elite Category 1 men will be coming up very, very shortly for the Dubai Mall Sprint. In fact, there you go. You can see that green arched banner in front of them as this large group of Category 1 riders come up and into the segment. Abello puts his foot down. Mutaway, 9 watts per kilo, 10 watts per kilo. That is a rider adamant. He really wants to pick up some points and some of the segment prizes today. Francis Ilpino chasing hard at the moment. So Mutaway took the top spot in sprint number 1. Is he going to take the top spot in sprint number 2? I think he is. Well, he does indeed in that Category 1 race. Joy Kaluma, the only rider going faster than him in the Category 2 race. 14.571 seconds, the fastest time today through the Dubai Mall Sprint for Joy Kaluma. Mohamed Mutaway in 2, just 0.024 of a second back. Pino in 3, Abello in 4. How close is that racing? The rest of our riders there coming through in that segment really, really strongly. Thea Kurse yet again putting in a great ride. Fatima El Isa coming through at the 8th fastest time overall, our Category 3 Premier Elite woman. Jenny Tan in Category 4 making the top 10 overall in terms of times as well. Great to see the effort going in terms of picking up those segments. Now, in Category 1, the rider who has been picking up those segment wins so far today, Mohamed Mutaway, on our screen at the moment, looking cool, calm and collected. He's just gone through the Dubai Mall Sprint. He's got 3 kilometres till the downtown sprint. That's the next opportunity to pick up any of the sprint prizes, any of the segment prizes on offer today. 7 segments today, 2 climbs, 5 sprints. So lots of opportunities for our riders as they just push on up and over the bridge. This group of riders, strong riders. Well, this is the group of strong riders as well, and we've been in with them every day. The Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, they are back in with us today. Fabulous to see those riders still on their bikes. We're watching Rehab Ahmed at the moment. She's on our screen coming into the start of the sprint at 18 kilometres. That's the Silent Dunes sprint. She's just gone underneath that banner. But the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, what a great job they have done this week. Absolutely phenomenal effort by everybody involved. And thank you so much for joining us. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on our screens and to see the work and the effort you've put in and the community that you've got down there. Absolutely brilliant. Well, the riders pushing on and continuing on the final stage today. The Category 4 elite women who were the first riders out of the start pen alongside our amateur women. You know, they are now well and truly into this 35-kilometre race. Ahmed, who we are with at the moment on the right-hand side of the screen, she's at 18.5 kilometres, and she's currently 17th on the road, 19th on the road. Rasha Carr, she's in the Abu Dhabi Cycling Centre. We've now got an individual picture on her at the moment. She's 29th overall on the road at the moment, putting in another strong performance. Gina De Gracia is the rider behind her. Fiona Eggleton just ahead of her, just 4 seconds. Those two riders could well be coming together very, very shortly. In fact, if Gina De Gracia joined them as well, that would be a group of 3 on the road. So big smiles from Rasha Carr there on her bike. This is day 5, and she does indeed join Eggleton now as she pushes on up and through, now into 28th on the road. Next rider 1 minute further up the road, but now we've got 3 riders who are able to work together. Carr, De Gracia and Eggleton all together on the road, pushing on today. Back in with Category 1, the Premier Elite men now at 8 kilometres into the race. This is the downtown sprint. This is sprint number 3 today, and expecting to see Mohamed Moutoué push on. The rider in 3rd place overall really has been pushing on for these segment competition today, and really wanting to push on and see how he does in that competition. Not able to win the sprint competition, but able to pick up the segment prizes for today by pushing on in that sprint. And we can see the riders here coming through, and there it is. Mohamed Moutoué not taking the fastest time this time in the elite men's category. In fact, the fastest time being taken by Joy Kaluma yet again in category 2. That rider really has a sprint on him. Absolutely phenomenal. Then we've got Al Hamadi, Sly Fox and Al Khies. Our amateur men taking the reins between their hands on this sprint. Francis Pino setting the fastest time in the Premier Elite category. Bello and Moutoué. Kirsey and Tan in the top 10. Both of the women there racing really strongly through these segments and through those sprints. So our riders continue to sprint, and that's 3 out of 5 sprints now complete and underway. The aquarium climb is the next challenge, but we have a push on the front of this elite men's race, and it's SS in category 2, who is pushing on at 15.3 kilometres into the race, up and over the aquarium climb. Down the other side in category 2, and Aura Methri went over that climb and picked up the most points. Erasmus in 2, SS in 3, Demanuel and then Cadabona, but SS now chasing and pushing on, being brought back in with Aura Methri. Erasmus joining, Demanuel joining. It's looking to me like we've got 4 category 2 riders in the mix here. Erasmus still holding on to that polka dot jersey. So our riders continuing to push on. The competition very, very close in that category 2. King of the Mountains competition. Erasmus still leading with 24 points. SS Move staying in 2nd place with 22, but Aura Methri coming close now with 21 points in 3rd, just 3 points separating them. And the final climb today, the Jebel Hafeet, is categorised as a category 1 climb. So 10 points available on the top 4 first, 8 for 2nd, 6 for 3rd, 4th for 4th and 2 for 5th, which does indeed mean that that competition is still wide open. Well, Yasser Abalushi pushing on here in this Premier Elite men's race. They're at 10 kilometres into the race. They're on the aquarium climb. And I said right at the beginning of the show that this could be a place where we'd see a big group split. This is a big group. This is a large group of Category 1 Premier Elite men. Are we going to see this group split now? Well, at the moment, everybody is working really hard to stay together. Yasser Abeloushi, part and parcel of this group. Mohammed Al-Kais is in there as well. Now, Al-Kais been very, very quiet so far today, riding in the group in the polka dot skin suit, not pushing on the front. 10.5 kilometres now into this 35-kilometre race. He is 20 seconds back on GC. Q10 is leading. That's the Category 1 race. This is the Category 2 race. And Abu Saif, nice towel. That's what I can say. It's a MyWhoosh towel, but Abu Saif, part and parcel of the pack here. Ericsson Perez is the right. Oh, look, all the kit. All the kit. Great to see. And riding with Ericsson Perez at the moment in this elite men's race. Abeloushi is the rider, 24 seconds up the road. That's got to be the next stop on this journey on stage 5, taking Perez with him. Well, actually, Perez is now just dropping back. So Safe pushing on. Great to see a smile on the face of our riders as they continue to work on stage 5 of this 5-day stage race. Back in with the Premier Elite Men, and that group, well, it's not split yet. Sultan, Nuki, Popovic, Pino, Carrillo, Mutue, all in there at the moment. It's going to be a battle royale. On the right-hand side of your screen, Myra Madeira, she is leading the elite women's race, Category 4. They were the first group of riders away with the amateur women. Madeira, 25.7 kilometres. She's now into the last 10 kilometres of the race. She is on the Jebel Hafeet. And, well, she's got 54 seconds over Al Mansouri. She's got 3 minutes over Roname Joint Mare at the moment. So it's looking like Madeira, as long as she can keep this going, is going to take the win today in that Category 4 race, though obviously she's got to get over that line first. Well, back in with the Category 2 elite men. The push is on here at 18.1 kilometres. They're into the Silent June sprint. This is sprint number 4 of 5. The riders continuing to work, but Erasmus just making sure he doesn't lose contact with the group, but not necessarily really wanting to push on. So riding at the back of the group, making the most of the draft. And interesting to see, I'm just going to double check that, because that is some tactic, because on my screen he picks up 5 points for the fastest rider through the sprint so far, behind Al Ramethri, SS and Emmanuel, just taking a very small micro rest there, as we saw on the screen, catching his breath, because this is hard work. This is really hard work. He's got that polka dot skin suit. He kept it up and over the first climb, taking 4 points in that climb. He's just picked up 5 points in the sprint, so working really hard today. Marking SS, the rider leading the competition, 3 minutes 39 ahead of Erasmus in 2. So the Premier Elite men, they were the last riders to start. These riders we are watching started 10 minutes ahead of them, and you can see there's about 6.6 kilometres separating these two groups of riders on the road at the moment. But, well, the aquarium climb, we may have lost one rider, I think, off the back of this group, but we have not lost anybody else. So Nuki pushing on at the front, Sultan is with him, so is Al Hamadi. These riders pushing on here. Now this is a segment. This is a segment in the King of the Mountains competition. The fastest time up here will gain 5 points in that competition. Currently being led by Al-Kais in this category. Nuki in second place, 4 points back. Q10, 9 points back. Joint third with Al Hamadi. So Al-Kais there in the polka dot skin suit, needing just to watch the front of this group. Nuki is the rider who is closest to him in this competition. 5 points available at the top of this climb for the fastest rider, 4-3-2-1. But the big points on offer today are indeed on offer at the top of the Jebel Hafeet. This group's slightly getting smaller here. We've now lost 2 riders off the back of the group. But Q10 is here, Al Rafray is here, Mutaway is here, Al Qatar is here, Popovic, Nuki, Al Hamadi. The riders we would expect to see in here who have been racing at the front of this category are all in here. Clinton Carrillo is in here as well. We're in with Al Rafray in the sports hall. He's paying close attention to the back of the group, not to lose it as they come up and under the banner, signifying the end of the climb. They're on the downhill now. This is dangerous territory though, because while a lot of riders think this is the time to recover, others think this is the time to attack. Well, up and over the aquarium climb in the Premier Elite men's race. And you can see setting the fastest times on the aquarium climb, Hassan Sultan picking up the points there in category 1. Al Hamadi picking up 4 points, Nuki picking up 3, Al Qatar picking up 2, and Mutaway picking up 1. Al Rafray coming through in 6th, Cirillo, Al Case and Elos. So the leader of that competition not picking up any points on that climb. So interesting to see where that climbing competition is. Yusuf Al Hamadi on the screen at the moment, currently in 152nd place overall on our screens, part and parcel of that 500 for 5 community amateur racing. Great to see, having completed stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, well and truly now pretty much a third of the way through stage 5. Fantastic riding from our amateur riders, and so great to have them join us as well. So our amateur riders competing the 5 stages for $500, and around 140 men started the competition on day 1. I'm not sure 140 of them will finish because we do have a couple of riders who have abandoned, but it is a great challenge to set yourself and a fantastic challenge to achieve. Now the competition getting much closer in some of our intermediate categories, but we are just in now with our category 3 women, and no surprises. Angel Hadlock, currently in the yellow skin suit, leading category 3, the Premier Elite women. She's been battling with Patty Kienberger all the way through this competition, right the way from stage 1. They're at 25.3 kilometres. That's the polka dot banner signifying the start of the Jebel Feast. That's Angel Hadlock on our screen, and they are side by side. They have a 9.5 kilometre climb at 7% average gradient, and then a 500 metre run to the finish line to decide this race. So Hadlock in first place overall going into the stage today. 4 hours, 12 minutes, 43 seconds of racing in her legs. Kienberger in second position, 19 seconds back. These two have absolutely been superb competitors, battling each other through the previous stages. They've got less than 10 kilometres to go. They are sat side by side. Kienberger will want to match Hadlock. Hadlock will not want to let Kienberger go. And at some point, if Kienberger wants to win the race, she's going to have to attack Angel Hadlock. Well, it's close in the Premier Elite men's race as well. Q10 is leading GC, 3 hours, 32 minutes, 33 seconds, 20 seconds ahead of Al Case. They are currently at 16.6 kilometres into this race. At 22.5 kilometres, that's category 2, the elite men, and there's a battle going on there as well, not just for the overall, but definitely in that climbing competition. The category 3 elite, Premier Elite women, 25.8 kilometres into the race, and Kienberger and Hadlock are battling it out. Further up the Jebel Hafeet at 27.4 kilometres, Myra Madeira, the leader in our elite women's category, is absolutely doing the business today on this climb. She is working so hard. The time gap back to her closest competitor on GC, Roname Joy Mayer, sitting at around 2 minutes. And I say that because it's fluctuating, because it's about the pace of the two riders and they're on the climb. But it is around 2 minutes. So Madeira doing the business. She's at 37.5 kilometres. She's just over 10 kilometres ahead on the road than the final group who started. They started 30 minutes behind Madeira. That's the Premier Elite men. Sultan, Abelushi, Al-Hamadi, Al-Qatar and Nuki all in that leading group as Madeira continues to tap her way up the Jebel Hafeet. And I think she is absolutely motivated to finish this race in first place today. Well, which one of these men is going to finish in first place today? It is going to be a fantastic race. They're at 17.4 kilometres into the race. They are on the climb before the Silent June sprint comes at 18 kilometres. Very shortly, they will see that green banner signifying the start of the sprint. But Al-Hamadi, Sultan, Al-Qatar, Al-Balushi, Popovic, Q10, Yuki, Carrillo is in here as well. It's a great group, a brilliant sized group of Category 1 Premier men. A little bit further up the road is Cristiano Kennup, who's been having a fantastic race as well. So Kennup riding really strongly. He's currently on the course, 15 seconds down on Harrington. That's the next rider up ahead. That's one of our amateur women's racers who started with the first wave today. But every rider on the road is a motivation to catch and chase. Every rider is a constant pull ahead in front of you, and it is great to have those to continue in your sights and to continue to chase. Well, chasing hard at the moment, Mohamed Moutoué, I think he's going to be looking to wind up and go for yet another segment today. He really is on the motor for the segments at 11.1 watts per kilo. He really has decided the Silent June sprint is his as he pushes on. I'm not seeing those type of numbers come out of anybody else behind. Mohamed Moutoué is going for these segments today. This is obviously on his race plan, and he goes through the Silent June sprint clear of the rest of the Premier Elite men, absolutely pushing for these segment wins today. So Mohamed Moutoué is in there. Al-Kahar, Al-Hamadi, Popovic, they are all now trying to close down the gap. In fact, Moutoué setting the fastest time through that sprint segment of all of our riders, 13.746 seconds. Joy Kaluma continuing to do what Joy Kaluma does in Category 2, the elite men's race. 14.632, just 0.8 of a second behind. Our amateur men then coming through in terms of that segment, in terms of that Silent June sprint. Thea Kersey still doing the business in the amateur women's. Jenny Tan still doing the business in Category 4. And Fatima El Issa is still doing a phenomenal ride in the sprint in Category 3, the Premier Elite women's race. Well, the Category 2 men now going underneath the banner signifying the start of the Jebel Hafeet. Demanuan, Al-Ramethri, SS and Erasmus. 4 riders all still together. 4 riders battling it out here today. Four riders leading the men's Category 2, working hard. They've got a group of amateur male riders around them, all pushing on here, and now SS really starts to motor. He's setting his pace for this climb and seeing where it takes him. So SS now starting to come to the fore of the group. That is the yellow skin suit. He's currently leading this competition by 3 minutes 39 seconds from Erasmus. Demanuan is in this group as well. So is Aramethri, but Aramethri and Demanuan now going out the back of the group. So is Erasmus. So SS now pushing on in this category 2 elite men's race. He's showing why he's wearing that yellow skin suit. He is back with a force and now has the Jebel Hafeet ahead of him at 35.8 kilometers. He's got 9.1 kilometers to go because he's just ticked. I was just waiting for that to tick over to 25.9. It's got 9.1 kilometers to go before he gets to the checkered flag at the top of the Jebel Hafeet. 690 meters of climbing does though separate him from that checkered flag, and he's got to remain consistent and he's got to get to the top of the climb. Hassan Al-Remethri is the rider working behind. 6 seconds back is Ronald Erasmus. Erasmus is the rider in second place overall. Al-Remethri is the rider in third place overall, and Erasmus needs to keep an eye on Al-Remethri. Al-Remethri's gap to Erasmus is 1 minute 43. So Erasmus really needs to watch what Al-Remethri does so that he holds second place overall. So SS, Erasmus, Al-Remethri are 1, 2, 3 on GC overall, and the time gaps are different between them. Both groups having to watch quite closely what happens in that race. Now, in our other races, furthest up the road is our category 4 elite women. Myra Madeira leading that race at 28.6 kilometers. Rona May Joy Mayer, the rider, in second place on GC, around 2 minutes back still. Category 3, Angel Hadlock seems to have broken away from Patty Kienberger. There is Hadlock in the yellow skin suit. She's 20 seconds clear, but it is indeed fluctuating the time gap there between Hadlock and Kienberger. So Hadlock in 1 coming into this course today. Kienberger in 2, 19 seconds back. And it's looking as though Kienberger is around 20 seconds back now on Hadlock. So Hadlock looking to extend her lead on this climb. Well, she's coming up for 7 kilometers left to go of the race. Can Hadlock hold this from Kienberger? Can Madeira hold this from Mayer? They will continue to battle their way up the climb. I tell you, not much further behind. SS is really now starting to work his way through the earlier starting race fields. He's just gone past Fatima El Isa, the rider who is doing so well in the sprint segments in her race category. So he's just moved up through the category 3 women. Category 4 women, Rona Tanglian is just up ahead of him on this mountainside. So now really starting to work his way clear. Just looking back, Al-Remethri doing a great ride behind him. Hassan Al-Remethri now 2 seconds back. Ronald Erasmus just 1 second back. So Erasmus and Al-Remethri have pulled SS back on this climb. Al-Remethri pushes on, goes straight past SS. Thank you very much. There is Erasmus in the polka dot skin suit, so SS had pushed on. He did have a gap on Erasmus and Al-Remethri, but Al-Remethri and Erasmus coming back together again and pushing on. The race between the two of them pulling SS back. So these are 1, 2, 3 on the road, 1, 2, 3 on GC in this category. Category 2, the elite men. SS in the yellow skin suit is 3 minutes 39 clear of Erasmus. He's 5 minutes 22 clear of Al-Remethri on GC. But Al-Remethri is 1 minute 43 behind Erasmus. If these three stay together, then those time gaps will not change. If they split apart, there could be real damage to the overall GC. How this race is going to pan out in the last 8 kilometres, well, it is going to be really interesting. Will we see SS attack again? Will we see Hassan Al Ramethri push on. Will we see Erasmus push on too? Well, we're going to have to wait to find out because we're dropping back in with the Category 1 Elite men's race. And Youssef Mirza Al Hamadi is on the attack. So is Hassan Sultan. They've not yet got to the base of the Jebel Hafeet, and the push is on at the front. So Sultan, Al Hamadi, Pino, Al Qatar, Mutawaik, Cirillo, all in this group. So is Popovic, and I'm assuming Q10 is in there as well. Yes, I think there he is, just off the back. Eyesight was deceiving me at the moment. I was just wondering if he was in there. The only way I could have told was by those yellow shorts, but he is indeed there on the back of the group, comfortably sat in. It's still a really big group, and this is surprising me because I hadn't anticipated that this group would be this big at this point in time. Everybody is playing their cards really close to their chest today. Hassan Sultan continues to push on here, though. So interesting to see Sultan pushing on, really not wanting this to slow down because it really is steady pace at the moment. So Sultan in 1, Mutue in 2, Al-Qais, Cirillo, Al-Qatar, Al-Rafray, Nuki, all in here. They're coming up for the 24-kilometre mark, which is the Al Ain sprint. It is the final sprint of the day. The one but last segment, the last segment being the Jebel Hafeet, which starts at 25.4 kilometres. So these riders, I hadn't thought it would be this big a group, but it is. It's going to be a great climb. Well, Mohamed Mutwe has been absolutely doing the business on these segments today. He's been picking up the points and picking up the prizes on these segments, and he's at it again. 12 watts per kilo. He's adamant. Look at the support he's got in the room, getting him to push on and push through there. Underneath the banner he goes. I think he's going to take the fastest time on the final sprint of the competition. Mohamed Mutwe's been absolutely doing the business today, picking up those segment points. How long he's going to last on this climb after all that effort, I don't know, but all credit to him today. Mohamed Mutwe picking up the points and saying the fastest time overall on the Al Ain sprint, 11.9 seconds. Sly Fox and Al Gase have been doing the business in the amateur men's competition. Thea Kersey has been doing the business in the amateur women's. Joy Kaluma still picking up the segment points in Category 2 men. Jenny Tan in Category 4 women. Fatima Al Asa has been doing the business in the Category 3 women's race, and she's really come to the fore in that sprint competition. So after going through that final sprint, Mohamed Mutwe settles down and drops his heart rate, because on the top right-hand corner of your screen, of his screen, you can see that climb about to start. They are the only race category not on the Jebel Hafeet at the moment. Category 2 men's race, Al Ramethri, SS and Erasmus all still together at the front of that race. Hadlock ahead of Keinberger. Here are the Category 1 men's race, and they are about to swing round the corner, and very, very shortly they will see the polka dot banner signifying the start of the Jebel Hafeet. So the polka dot banner signifying the start of the Jebel Hafeet is there in front of them. They are the final race category today who will start the climb of the Jebel Hafeet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's 12 riders. 12 riders in the leading group of Category 1 going up and on to the Jebel Hafeet. Ivan Nuki comes to the front. He's a rider leading... Well, actually, he's not. Al-Qais is leading the climbing competition by 1 point. Nuki is in 2. Those two riders are right at the front of the race already. So Al-Qais leading by 1 point, 21 points to Nuki's 20. These two riders are leading that competition as they go past Joy Kaluma and they start to head past other riders in these earlier starting race fields. And you can see all the way up the Jebel Hafeet a multicoloured snake of riders, and the riders at the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, all of them in the mix there. All of them working hard. Ivan Nuki is just out of sight in our picture. In fact, he's just come back into sight. He's the second male rider at the back from the left-hand side, working really hard on the climb, digging really deep. Everyone around him is having fun. It's great to see riders dancing and cycling at the same time. Nuki's not dancing, he's cycling. He's pushing his way all up this mountain. Yusuf Mirza Al Hamadi is the rider who has just joined him on the road. They are now 13 seconds clear. In fact, Q10 now pushing on behind in third place. The gap back 10 seconds. So Nuki and Al Hamadi, the two riders, absolutely laying it down at the moment in the category 1 elite Premier Elite men's race. The gap back to Q10, 14 seconds, 15 seconds. Mutwe is there, Abelushi is there. These riders all in the chase group, and the riders they're chasing are Al Hamadi and Nuki. They've made very short work of the early stages of the Jebel Hafeet, 690 metres of climbing in total, over 9.5 kilometres, giving an average gradient of around 7%. When they get to the polka dot banner at the top, 500 metres to go until the finish line. Well, we saw Nuki in with the Abu Dhabi Cycling Centre. This is Yusuf Mirza Al Hamadi, and we can see the level of concentration on his face and the gulping for air at the moment as he continues to work his way up the early stages of the Jebel Hafeet. He's currently P1 in this competition, and Al Hamadi has been getting stronger and stronger. Finished 5th on stage 1, 4th on stage 2, 2nd on stage 3, and 3rd yesterday on stage 4, leaving him in 4th position overall. He's 3 minutes 8 seconds back on Q10, who is leading GC coming into today, 2 minutes 46 back on 2nd place, and 47 seconds back on 3rd place. It is potentially doable on the Jebel Hafeet, but he has to hold it together and he has to get up the climb. Ivan Nuki pushing on. Nuki riding phenomenally well, really probably wanting the points for the overall King of the Mountains competition, because he's lying 6th on GC at the moment, over 6 minutes back. He probably can't do much about that 6 minutes, but he definitely can ride himself into the winning position in the King of the Mountains competition, and that, I think, is what he will be aiming for. Erasmus now coming to the fore. We knew he could climb. He's in the polka dot skin suit. He's in the polka dot skin suit for a reason, because he can climb. Well, he's now leading the 3 riders he was with last time we were with him at 29.1 kilometres into the race in the category 2 elite men. Erasmus now in 1, Aramethri in 2, and SS in 3. In category 3, our Premier Elite Women's race, Hadlock is now 30 seconds clear of Keinberger. And in Category 4, the Elite Women's race, the first race away today, Myra Madeira is still holding Mare at around 2 minutes 20 seconds. So they are climbing the Jebel Hafeet. Myra Madeira has 4.5 kilometres still to race today. She's been out on the course for 1 hour and 13 minutes. She's got 4.5 kilometres of climbing left to go, and she's got a gap now over Mare of a good 2.5 minutes. So really good to see our riders currently leading this competition. So Erasmus leading category 2, Hadlock leading category 3, Madeira leading category 4, and a battle going on in category 1. And Ivan Nuki, we can see on our screen, is part and parcel of that battle at the moment. 3 riders in the leading group in category 1, and it's all playing out on the Jebel Hafeet today. So this is the culmination of 5 days stage racing for the GCC Summer Championships. Stage 1 was a road race back in Hadariat. It was 38.4 kilometres long with 170 metres of climbing. Very, very different today. We had a time trial on day 2. We went to California for day 3. We were back in Huderiat for yesterday's stage. It was a pan-flat road race with 9 sprints. Today we are in Arabia, 35 kilometers of racing, 905 meters of climbing. We are on the Jebel Hafeet today, the final stage of the GCC Summer Championships, and it's where the GC champions are made. It's where the sprint points are culminated, the climb points are added together, and our winners, well, they are all looking forward to that checkered flag at the top of the Jebel Hafeet, and then the calculations to be done, the verifications to be done, and the overall to be there. Well, if you are interested in the GCC Summer Championships and what else MyWhoosh has to offer, you can head over to the MyWhoosh website, where you can find out all sorts of information. MyWhoosh, not just about racing. You can also jump on and ride. You can ride on community rides. You can ride by yourself. You can take part in one of the training sessions, over 700 training programs on MyWhoosh. There's riding and racing for everyone. There's elite riding and racing, including the Sunday Race Club, which takes place every Sunday, where you do indeed need dual power and a verification for that, but you do not need that for other levels of racing on MyWhoosh. There's Tune Up Tuesday, there's team time trials where you can grab some friends and compete together. There's a sub 2.2 race category, a sub 3 watts per kilo race category. There's all sorts coming up on MyWhoosh. Head over to mywhoosh.com, where you can take a look and see about everything that's going on. You can obviously subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel, where you'll be given notifications of any broadcasts coming up, and those will be thick and fast, because not just the culmination of the GCC Summer Championships, there's a Sunday Race Club which takes part every Sunday. There's the World Championships coming up as well, all on MyWhoosh this year. It's going to be a fantastic summer and into the autumn. A 28.1 kilometres now into this race. We can see Al Balushi on the bottom right left-hand corner of the screen. He's on the screen at the moment, putting in a sterling ride up the Jebel Hafeet at the moment, ahead of Al Case by 5 or 6 seconds. That's the rider behind, actually. You can see Al Case behind, working to try and close the gap to Yasser Al Balushi. Al Balushi working and riding really strongly here. Also got Hassan Sultan behind him as well. Currently 61st on the road. Now, bear in mind, the Premier Elite Men Category 1 started last. They were the last riders out the start pen. 30 minutes behind our Elite Women Category 4, 20 minutes behind our Premier Elite Women Category 3, and 10 minutes behind our Elite Men Category 2. And you can see how all of those race categories, including the 2 amateur categories, have merged on the Jebel Hafeet. It's a multicoloured snake of riders working their way up here. Here is Q10. Q10 wearing that yellow skin suit at the moment, signifying he was in the leader's position overall on GC coming into the final stage today. And he is digging deep up the Jebel Hafeet today to stay in that yellow skin suit. He is 14 seconds down on Moutaway, who is in 3rd position overall. Al Hamadi, 15 seconds. Nuki, 13 seconds. So I am looking at this to see Q10 is pulling himself back to the leading group in this category. He is not letting them go. He's got 20 seconds to Al Case on GC, but Al Case is behind him, not ahead of him. Al Hamadi is lying 4th overall on GC. Mohamed Moutaway is lying 3rd overall on GC. So those are his 2 closest competitors in the group ahead of him. Now he has 2 minutes 21 on Moutaway. He's got 3 minutes and 8 seconds on Al Hamadi, as Q10 continues to push and continues to try and chase this leading group of 3 riders in this Category 1 race. So Mohamed Mutwe, Ivan Nuki and Yusuf Mirza Al Hamadi are the three riders leading this Category 1 race up the Jebel Hafeet. They've got 6 kilometres to go. On the top right-hand corner of your screen, Erasmus and Aura Methri are now side by side. So Aura Methri has caught Erasmus. SS around 25 seconds back. It still leaves SS clear on GC at the moment, and Erasmus, well, he's got 1 minute 43 seconds on Aura Methri. That is the damage Aura Methri would have to do to drop Erasmus into 3rd place, and he's running out of road at the moment. In the Category 3 Premier Elite Women's Race, Angel Hadlock has ridden away from Patty Kienberger. She is coming up to the 3.5 kilometre mark in that race. And it's still quite close, though, because Kienberger is not that far behind. Well, Ronald Erasmus just pushing on ahead of Hassan Aura Methri now in that Category 2 race. Back in Category 1, Mohamed Al-Kais, who was leading and is leading the climbing competition in the polka dot jersey. 2nd on GC, 20 seconds back on Q10. Pushing him his way through this field, you know, and because of the different race categories that have started ahead of him, there are riders on the field to pick up, but it's looking like he is over a minute now behind the leading group. So Al-Kais now looking like he may well not contend 1st place overall on GC, but he does now need to keep and work to keep 2nd position on GC overall, because Mutwe and Al Hamadi in 3rd and 4th position are ahead of him on the road. Well, Al Kahadi has been riding strongly all week, and he continues to ride strongly up the Jebel Hafeet. He's continuing to push on. So Kalangad, Saif Mayouf and Khalid Mayouf are the riders coming up. Those are the 3 riders in the yellow skin suits joining the rider in blue. Now take a look at this. Q10 has joined the 3 leaders on the road. So he's closed the gap to Nuki, Mutwe and Al Hamadi. 4 riders now leading this Category 1 race. So Q10 goes straight up and over the top of the group. He's setting a pace and he's maintaining that pace. Nuki, Al Hamadi and Mutwe now needing to go with him and to stay in this group. It's 9% under their wheels at the moment, and they're coming up to the 30 kilometre mark. 5 kilometres still to go in this race. If this group stay together, it all depends on what time they put into Mohamed Al-Kais, the rider in 2nd position overall, because he is not in this group. So P1, P3 and P4 on GC are in this group. Mohamed Al-Kais is the rider missing. We saw him just shortly, a small while ago, further back down the mountain, but not too far back down the mountain to really have issues with his position on GC at the moment. Well, they've got 5 kilometres to go in the Premier Men's Category 1 race. And you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen the other riders and other racers on the mountain as well. On the right-hand side of your screen, this is the Category 2 Elite Men's race. And Erasmus has indeed pushed on and left Aura Methri. SS now around 40 seconds back. The battle between Erasmus and Aura Methri for 2nd and 3rd position overall on GC, one that's just as strong as the battle with SS in terms of holding on to that time gap. Now this is our women's race. On the left-hand side of your screen, Angel Hadlock has 30 seconds on Kienberger in the Premier Elite Women's Race. She's got 19 seconds on her on GC, and she's extending that lead at the moment. She's at 32.3 kilometres into the race. At 32.4, just 100 metres ahead of Hadlock, is Myra Madeira. Myra Madeira is leading the Category 4 Elite Women's Race. She's been out on course for 1 hour and 24 minutes. It's a phenomenal final stage. She's been riding phenomenally strongly. She's raced so far for 4 hours, 31 minutes and 54 seconds coming into stage 5. She had a 2-minute, 19-second gap over Rona May Joy Meir. A 10-minute gap over Smithson in third. A phenomenal performance by Myra Madeira, and she needs to continue to work. She's very soon going to see Angel Hadlock leading the Premier Elite women's race field come up onto her heels and maybe even go past her, because on Hadlock's screen, the jerseys you can see ahead, the yellow skin suit you can see ahead is indeed Myra Madeira leading that category 4 race. Hadlock on our screen now, up and out of the saddle, continuing to climb the Jebel Hafeet. This is so steep. It's 11% at the moment under the wheels of our riders. We've got 2.5 kilometers still to climb, and they are climbing so strongly. Let's just not forget, this is the end of stage 5 of a 5-day stage race. As I said, Madeira has been racing for 4 hours 31 minutes before she came into this race today. Hadlock 4 hours 12 minutes. These are strong performances we are seeing today by our riders to win their race categories. Madeira continuing to push on, so is Hadlock. Hadlock going to be joining Madeira very shortly, and we'll have the leaders of both women's races side by side. Myra Madeira on our screens, up and out of the saddle in that Cycle Zone kit in yellow, resplendent in real life as she is in that yellow skin suit on MyWhoosh on the race screen at the moment. She's working her way up the climb, and she's working her way to solidify that position on GC. Myra Madeira and Angel Hadlock leading their respective women's competitions and racing very strongly today on stage 5 of the GCC Summer Championships. As we continue to work our way up the Jebel Hafeet, they are moving towards the final 2 kilometers of racing today. So Hadlock goes past Madeira, our Premier Elite women's category that started 10 minutes behind our Elite Category 4 women's race field. Hadlock now moving on and moving past Madeira and pushing on strongly. The next rider we would expect to see, I think, behind in that women's race field is going to be Patty Kienberger. Kienberger in second position overall, 19 seconds behind Hadlock on overall GC. Kienberger also leading the sprint competition in that category. So interesting to see if or when and what the gap is back to Kienberger, and I'm sure very shortly we will be able to take a look at that. Well, Patty Kienberger, there she is behind. So Hadlock in 1, Kienberger in 2. She's around 35 seconds back. Madeira, the leader in that Category 4 race, in between the 2 riders in Category 3. Well, in Category 1, the Premier Elite men's race, they really are making short, sharp work of the Jebel Hafeet. Q10 with Al Mahadi are 2 riders pushing on here. Mutaway is with them, and the 4th rider in the group, well, we're going to have to wait to take a look on our screens when that becomes clear as to who that is. Oh, there you go. It is Ivan Nuki. Should never have doubted that for 1 minute. So Q10, Mutaway, Al Hamadi and Nuki, those riders still in that group of 4, but Q10, the rider pushing on at the front in that yellow skin suit. On the right hand side of your screen, this is going to be our first rider over the line today. It's going to be Ka-Wei Lee, the rider who has put in a phenomenal performance in our amateur women's category. She really has done some very strong rides, and she's going to be the first rider over the line ahead of our amateur men today. So Carway Lee, that is the banner signifying the end of stage 5 of the GCC Summer Championships. And Carway Lee, one of the women in our amateur women's category, is going to be the first rider under the finish gantry on stage 5, the final stage today of the GCC Summer Championships. Congratulations to Carway Lee. So Carway Lee coming underneath the line, the first rider today. And in that amateur women's category, phenomenal riding there, phenomenal riding here. This is the Premier Elite Men's Race. Q10, Mohamed Mutaway, Youssef Mirza, Al Hamadi and Ivan Nuki. These 4 riders have been battling it out together up the Jebel Hafeet. We're at 32.3 kilometres. I can tell you this started at 25.4, so boy has it been some battle already. On the right-hand side of your screen, the battle continues in the category 2 men's race field. This is SS. He's wearing the yellow skin suit, signifying the leader in that competition, but he is not leading on the road today. That is the rider on the left-hand side of your screen, Ronald Erasmus, in the polka dot skin suit. So Erasmus doing what he does, climbing while he's 6 seconds clear of Al Remethri in 2, 40 seconds now nearly clear of SS in 3. Now, this may not have any real implications for the overall, but it will indeed solidify Erasmus in that polka dot competition. Now, working hard, Mohamed Mutaway, he took those sprints today. He definitely wanted those segment wins, and he did indeed clear up the segment prizes today. Q10, Mohamed Mutaway, Youssef Mirza, Al Hamadi and Ivan Nuki are all still together. These are the 4 leaders in this Premier Men's category. They have, well, 2.3 kilometres left to go. All these races are going to start coming together. They've gone past Geneva Elos, who's lying 3rd overall in that women's category 3 race, that Premier Women's category 3 race. On the right-hand side of your screen now, we're starting to see the first group of amateur men come in and through the line. These are the riders on the 500 for 5 program. It's to encourage riders to ride and race and to take part in this activity, this GCC Summer Championships. It's not just about the elite riders, it's about the community riders as well. These are our amateur men. Jeffrey Duroles is the rider who's going to come through the fastest today in that amateur men's group. Eslam Ayad coming through in 2. Great riding from all of our riders in all 6 of our categories. It's not just about our elite riders, it's also about our amateur women and our amateur men. And they have been doing a phenomenal job over the last 5 days, completing all 5 stages for $500. Well, Ahmed Al-Nakabi is the rider who's going to come underneath the finish gantry next. He's being chased, well, not really chased, he's got a minute clear of the riders behind. They are working their way up the mountain behind them. Mohamed Al-Magasi is the rider coming in now. As he continues to push on, they're going to sweep round that right-hand bend, and that's when they see the gantry. So Angel Hadlock is the rider behind. She's going to be the first woman from our elite categories to come through and under the line. She is racing hard against Patty Keinberger in her own category. Myra Madeira, the leader in category 4, not much further behind either. And continuing to push their way up this mountainside are the leading 4 men in the category 1 road race. As we watch Angel Hadlock on the right-hand side of your screen go underneath the polka dot banner, signifying the end of the Jebel Hafeet climb. So the end of the Jebel Hafeet climb now coming through for Angel Hadlock, saying the fastest time up there so far in the women's categories, which is great to see. So she is set the fastest time in the women's categories and pushing on up. She's got less than 500 metres now until she sees that finish line. She's got 52 seconds back to Keinberger. You can see Keinberger on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, just about to come underneath the polka dot banner there. That's the gap she's got. It's 200 metres, so phenomenal riding and racing over the last 5 days from Angel Hadlock and Patty Kienberger in this Premier Elite Women's Race. And there is Angel Hadlock on your screen. She has worked so hard on the Jebel Hafeet to hold that yellow skin suit, and hold it she is going to. She's 200 metres from the finish line. After 5 days of racing, phenomenal performances from Angel Hadlock in all of our days of competition. That there is the banner, that is the finish line, the gantry that will show Angel Hadlock. She has finished this 5-day stage race, and finish it she is going to in first place on stage 5. We watch as Angel Hadlock works her way towards the finish line of the GCC Summer Championships for 2024. Angel Hadlock is going to take the win in the Premier Elite Women's Race. She's going to take the win on the final stage. She's going to cement her lead on GC. Phenomenal riding from Hadlock. Congratulations, your winner on Category 3, Angel Hadlock. Well, a well-earned rest, I think, deserved there as we're watching the Category 2 men's race. In fact, Ronald Erasmus here is chasing Patty Kienberger. So Kienberger's going to finish in second place in that women's competition behind Hadlock. But Ronald Erasmus has climbed himself up into the lead in this Category 2 men's race. That's the finish line. That's your winner. Ronald Erasmus takes the win today on stage 5. Phenomenal climbing today from Erasmus on the Jebel Hafeet. Congratulations. Well, Hassan Al-Ramethri has chased Erasmus all the way up the Jebel Hafeet, and he's worked his way into second position overall here today on the stage in Category 2 men's race. SS 40 seconds behind further down the mountain at the moment, but Hassan Al-Ramethri is going to finish in second place today in Category 2. While Al-Ramethri finishes in second place in Category 2, Mohamed Mutaway has put an attack in at the front of Category 1. So Mutaway was lying in third position overall in the GC at the start of today. Al-Hamadi lying in fourth is the rider doing the chase in Nuki. While Nuki is now 28 seconds back, and they've put in a phenomenal time gap on the rest of the riders. Q10 is 11 seconds back with Al-Hamadi. So Nuki is the rider who has been dropped, but Mutaway is the rider pushing on here. Do you know what? I think he's going to win the stage. So Q10 now opening up behind, but he's left this too late. Mohamed Mutaway is going to win the Premier Elite men's category today, stage at number 5 on the GCC Summer Championships. Mutaway is your stage winner today. Fantastic riding from Mohamed Mutaway, not just picking up the segments along the way, he takes the Jebel Hafeet and the stage as well. Well, Q10 now coming in underneath the finish gantry. He is going to come through for second place on the stage today. And I think he's going to have done enough to hold on to his overall title on GC. But we are going to have to wait and see until everything is verified. Al-Hamadi coming through in 3. Ivan Nuki is going to come through in 4. That was the 4-man breakaway. They've ridden well clear of Mohamed Al-Kais. It's going to be interesting to see. He's 800 metres back, what the time gap is and what that does to the overall. Well, Ivan Nuki comes through for 4th place today. Phenomenal racing from Nuki. He's been getting better and better and stronger. Great racing from him. Well, overall, Category 1, an hour and 7 minutes, 11 seconds of racing for the win for Mohamed Mutaway today in Category 1, the Premier Elite men's race. Q10 taking second spot, 20 seconds back. Al-Hamadi taking third and Nuki taking 4th. In the Category 2 race, Erasmus... There you go, just confirming Category 1. In Category 2, it's Erasmus from Al-Ramethri from SS, winning time 1 hour, 15 minutes, 45 seconds. in category 3, the Premier Elite Women's Race. The winning time from Angel Hadlock, 1 hour, 25 minutes and 9 seconds. She rode clear of Patty Kienberger by 30 seconds. The race between these two women has been spellbinding for the entire 5 days. It's been absolutely fantastic, but Hadlock there cementing her win. Myra Madeira, 1 hour, 37 minutes and 1 second to take the win in category 4, the elite women's race. And I think she's the only category 4 rider over the line so far. We are going to see riders out on this course for some time yet. As we just drop in with Ibrahim Al-Rafray from the Premier Elite Men's Race, continuing to work his way up the climb. He's got a kilometre still left to go. Bu Ama and Leonard Cadabona are ahead of him in the category 2 men's race. Liz Smithson is up there as well. She was lying 3rd overall today, coming into the category 4 women's race. We've also got some of our amateur men scattered throughout the field. Gina De Gracia is just behind Al-Rafray as well. She was lying 5th overall in the category 3 women's race. So riders all out on the course today. Really interesting to see how they have performed and how they have ridden. You are going to have to head in. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just head in with Ibrahim Al-Rafray in the Sports Centre, and that's the top of the polka dot banner. He's got 500 metres to go now until the finish line today. He's continuing to push. Brilliant riding, brilliant racing, because all the seconds count overall on GC. Fadal Al-Qatar is just behind him, 17 seconds back. Francis Pino is not too far behind. They are racing for GC, not just for the individual stage, and the times do count. There are some very, very close times back down the standings, right the way through the men's and the women's competition, and the prizes are for the top 10 on GC. So Ibrahim Al-Rafray pushing on and wanting to move now into and underneath that finish banner. Liz Smithson is the rider he's going to see. She's going to be in the polka dot skin suit, or the red skin suit of the category 4 women's race. She's also coming up. There she is. She's coming up for the finish line. So is Bu Ama, the rider in green just ahead. So is Cadabona, the rider just further round the corner, as Al-Rafray spots the finishing banner today. So there it is. That is the finish line of stage 5 of the GCC Summer Championships. 5 days, 5 stages. It has been a phenomenal ride from all of our riders as Ibrahim Al-Rafray comes up onto one of the steepest sections of the climb. Just before the finish gantry, Cadabona, De Manuan and Ama go through ahead of him as Al-Rafray goes underneath the finish gantry to complete all 5 stages of the GCC Summer Championships. And boy, his crew are giving him well-deserved congratulations. Well, whilst they congratulate him down there in the sports hall, it's been some phenomenal riding and some phenomenal racing from everybody in all 6 of our race categories today. And the overall standings, well, these are the winners of each of the stages. So stage 1 in Huderiat, Q10 took the win in the elite men category 1. Patty Kienberger took the win in the elite women category 3. Erasmus took the win in category 2 elite men, and Madeira took the win in category 4 elite women. Now, you can see in each of those days, we really have had a mix around. In the elite men's category 1, Q10 stage 1, Al-Qais stage 2, Nuki stage 3, Mutaway stage 4, Mutaway stage 5. So Mohamed Mutaway taking those final 2 stages. In the elite women's 3, Kienberger took stage 1, Hadlock took stage 2, Kienberger took stage 3, Hadlock took stage 4, and Angel Hadlock broke the pattern by taking stage 5 today as well. Well, in the elite men's 2, Ronald Erasmus started out as he finished by taking the win. SS took stage 2 and stage 3. Hassan Al-Ramethri took stage 4, and Ronald Erasmus took the win today in stage 5. Those 3 have battled really strongly in that category too. And in the elite women category 4, Myra Madera took the win on stage 1, stage 2, stage 4 and stage 5, dominating that race in all of the stages except stage 3, where Rona Mae Joy Mayer took the win in California. Now, it is all about time, not just who took the win. And the GC overall will indeed be about time. Now, in terms of those race results, in terms of the times in GC, on GC, in terms of the points for the sprints competition, in terms of the points for the climbs competition, you're going to head over to the results page on the MyWhoosh website to take a look. It's been fantastic being with you over the last 5 days. My name's Emma Martin. I have been with you for 5 days. My co-host Matt Payne was here for 4 out of those 5 days, and boy, has he missed a finale. I need to thank all of the production team behind the scenes for the most amazing show for the last 5 days, and following our 6 categories of riders who have entertained us and raced their hearts out on the GCC Summer Championships for 2024. This has been the GCC Summer Championships on MyWhoosh. Stay safe. Enjoy your riding. We will see you again soon. Goodbye.